This episode of the Kind of Funny Gamescast is brought to you by Video Blocks. What is Video Blocks, Greg?
Yeah, what is Video Blocks,
Let me
Tim?
tell you. It's an affordable subscription-based stock media site that gives you unlimited access to premium stock footage. What does that mean to us?
B-roll!
What? We used a whole bunch of this B-roll at
Use
Kind
some
of
of
Funny
that.
Live, Kind of Funny Live 1
didn't use
and
that.
2. I did not use this, no.
You might use that. You did use that. Dave Fennoy
Anyways,
was talking about
super
some-
cool, super awesome. I'm a huge fan of all the stuff. I've been a video editor almost my entire life. And
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of it. Stock footage makes it super easy. This stuff, royalty free. Once you get it, you can use it in anything you
Nice.
want. What's super cool is it's subscription based. So when you get a subscription, you can download as much as you want.
Nice.
So that's super cool. Here's a monkey. He's dancing around, having a good time.
Who doesn't want to put that in there?
There's audio stuff. There's like After Effects graphic stuff, and then there's all the stock footage too. So there's a whole bunch of there. You got Pong.
That's Pong
It's
right
hard
there.
for
We're
us- there
blocking
you
the
go.
guy. Get out of here with your Pong. Whoa! Whoa!
Video
you make a
Blocks.
video Christmas card with this, you'll blow your mom's face off.
Oh my God. Video Blocks is offering our fans a year subscription for only $99. That's a $50 discount off the usual price tag for our listeners only. That's less than $10 a month. Get yours today for only $99 at videoblocks.com/gamescast. That's videoblocks.com/gamescast.
They can't read it when you do it like that. Move your chair and your mic too. The mic's in the way. What's VC? Oh, Video Blocks, Video Blocks, Video Blocks, Video Blocks.
I'm sorry. What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 91 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the coolest dudes in video games, Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to be here.
How
Hi.
you guys doing?
I was thinking
Well,
we should
thank
do
you.
one topic and then change our clothes.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, so what we're doing is we're recording everything out of order because we recorded the Gamescast yesterday when we normally do it, but we knew that the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer was going to come out today. So we're like, we should do a separate topic just for that. And then they announced the NX drop, the Nintendo Switch that we now know about. So we did a reacts about that you should check out over here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. We're very excited about it. Let's take a second just to talk about that, just to, whet the appetite of the Gamescast audience.
X gave it to us.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You win, Colin?
I mean, name's terrible, but I think that everything else about it's super promising. Pre-ordered as soon as possible. I'm in. I think it looks really exciting.
Hell yeah. Greg?
Of course, looks awesome. It's exactly what we've been talking about wanting for it feels like forever. It looks like that's what it's going to be. I'm totally in. I think it's going to be a success. I think the name will grow on us. And I was saying that thing, like, if they put multi-platform games on there and they don't run poorly and they don't look like shit, it'll be interesting to see where I play them.
Yeah. No, I'm most excited because the idea of the 3DS and Wii U libraries both being in one console, a console that doesn't look like a toy, third-party support, and the ability to use a Pro Controller with awesome, huge buttons. I'm just like, thank you. That trailer gave me everything I needed. And the new Mario that looks like it might be Mario 64 too, which is... I'm not going to get too excited about that yet because that's just like...
It's too much.
The greatest thing
Too
ever.
good.
This is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every week we get together to talk about video games and all the things that we love about them. And I talk about Nintendo a lot. And don't worry, I'm going to keep talking a lot more about it in the years to come. But if you wanted to get this show, you can get it early on patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, or you can get it late like one of them loser kids
Whoa.
over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. I appreciate
You're not a
you
loser.
either
We love
way.
you. Don't worry.
Yeah, but you're like one of them cool losers. That's a thing. That's a
Is
real
it one
thing.
of the? Is that a thing? All right.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is the topic of the day. We got the trailer. It was like a minute and 13 seconds.
Beautiful.
So everything we thought we would see.
Yeah.
There's also a press release over on the PlayStation blog. I'm going to read that.
Read me the PlayStation blog.
I will. This is written by John Kohler over there.
Oh, we know John Kohler.
He says, for the past 20 years, Rockstar have continually redefined the concept of open worlds. From the record-breaking Grand Theft Auto series, the Midnight Club racing games, the schoolyard comedy bully, to the breakout hit Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar's consistently delivered on a level that few have managed to match. Now, following up with Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the most successful entertainment properties of all time, Rockstar's set to return with Red Dead Redemption 2, the latest entry in the Red Dead series of games, and there's no better place to play it than PlayStation. Handcrafted to take full advantage of PlayStation 4, Red Dead Redemption 2 is an epic tale of life in America's unforgiving heartland. The game's vast and atmospheric world will also provide the foundation for a brand new online multiplayer experience. Learn from that there, GTA 5. We're pleased to announce that PlayStation 4 players get first access to earn select online content in the vast open world of Red Dead Redemption 2. Check back on PlayStation blog for more details soon and for all the latest on Red Dead 2. In addition, the PS3 classic Red Dead Redemption will be coming to PlayStation Now soon. Relive the epic story, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
Fuck about PlayStation Now. Just port it to PlayStation 4,
Give
for
me
God's sake.
PlayStation 4 version. Fuck this streaming garbage.
So that's a big coup for Sony. What were you going to say?
My question for you with this coup for Sony, I agree. Do you think that does this give more credence to the rumor that Red Dead was supposed to close out E3's conference?
Possibly, although we don't know if that's true or not. We've heard that from people we trust, but again, like, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have any, like, I've heard it from especially, people that if you heard something from that person, you'd be like, oh, okay.
But doesn't it kind of say something that this trailer isn't the trailer that they talked about?
That's exactly what I was going to say. That what we heard about that trailer was something like it was like a shootout in a saloon or something like that, right? Like that's what I heard. I think a lot of people heard that. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where the fuck that came from. So I'm not saying that's what it was. I don't know. But I heard it was like so violent. Like that was the thing. It was so violent and over the top that it wasn't able to be shown there. It could be a different trailer. Maybe we see that trailer later.
Because of the Orlando shootings.
Exactly. So regardless of that, I often see these third-party partnerships on multi-platform games with Battlefield or with Call of Duty, and I'm like, there's probably some marginal, with Destiny or whatever, there's probably some marginal marketing value there, and it certainly probably gets more people to play the game on that console, and so they wouldn't do these things if they didn't make money. They're the bean counters, and they understand that. But with this game specifically, I think this is huge because if we go back to Grand Theft Auto 4, which was very Xbox 360 heavy. They got the DLC for Ballad of Gay Tony and Lost in the Damned, which were awesome pieces of DLC. Really, really, some of the best DLC ever, actually. Way early. And if that's a similar kind of thing here with the multiplayer stuff, which is more what they're going for now with Grand Theft Auto Online, with GTA 5 and stuff, then that's a really big win for them because the game's not going to be on PC for a while. It'll obviously come to PC later, but it's not going to be on PC for a while. So PS4 is going to be the only place to play the dominant portion of the game, it seems like, initially, that people are still playing on the sister game, Grand Theft Auto 5, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so I feel like that's a pretty big thing for Sony.
I agree, but I mean, I think it could easily not be. Is it just going to be hats? Is it going to be that this mission pack, is it like the Call of Duty shit where this mission pack drops a month early? And then
or even like the early GTA 5 online updates. Like when those first started, they weren't really of consequence. It wasn't until a couple months in that we started getting the real sizable things like the Cunning Stunts pack and stuff. Now it's years later.
Which is such an amazing name. Yeah, so I think that this is really big. The trailer itself, I mean, we talked about, I think you thought it was going to go a little longer. I thought it was going to go a little shorter. I think it was more towards the shorter end, clearly.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I don't think there's a few things I feel about this. First of all, it looks fucking awesome. The game looks pretty. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be great. And the scenery and the setting brings you back to Red Dead Redemption, like those little quaint kind of open forests and like these big pastoral kind of areas and stuff. They emphasize those 7 characters at the end of the trailer again, so we're interested to see. I'm sure we'll meet them over time in the marketing. But it also brings up why they announced it now. No reason to announce it this early. I think it's totally stupid to announce it this early, especially in light, not that they one hand knew what the other hand was doing with this, but like with the Switch announcement and all these kinds of things. Well, Tim and I were talking about specifically with there's only a few companies that can really interfere with each other in such a way that they can ruin or diminish the ability for the marketing of the other, and it actually happened with Rockstar and Nintendo, which I think is interesting, and I think Nintendo is really brave, and I think that they just had to go forward with the logistics of their investor meeting and all these kinds of stuff.
And
to
they
go
won
forward.
the day.
Oh, I'm sure they won, and I'm sure that sucks for Rockstar, and because it really brings me back to the fact that like it's like you really could have announced this in literally 6 months or more. I don't, unless they were afraid of a leak or something like that. I don't quite understand why it was announced now. But with that said, we know it's coming. It certainly gives other third parties room to get the fuck out of the way of it, which I'm sure they're all super eager and circled 2 months on their fucking calendar where they're not going to release anything next year. So, I mean, that's my feeling about it. Looks great. I'm sure it's going to be great. Really excited to see more about it. On the other hand, don't understand why it was announced so early. Trailer was a little short, which I expected, and we have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for the question part, Colin, you and I haven't talked about it since PS I Love You XOXO, which was before we even had the name and the release date. In there, I talked about what do you think the story is, and I mentioned, do you think it's a prequel? A lot of people think this kind of looks like Dutch or whatever. And you're like, I don't think it will be. I don't know. Have you seen the most recent screen caps and comparisons? Because there's one where they cut out of the logo who would be John Marston, who would be Dutch, and who would be the other guy. And they put their Red Dead counterparts above them, and how Marsden looks like Marsden person. Dutch looks like Dutch, and then the other guy, unless I'm confusing him, it has the exact same thing where his hat's like pinned up to the side of his head and stuff. It looks interesting that maybe this is going to be Red Dead 2 is going to be the prequel to Red Dead 1 and tell you the story of this gang. Obviously, we don't know. All we're left is to speculate, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's possible. Do we remember the date in which Red Dead Redemption took place? It was around the Mexican War, wasn't it? Was it 1840s or was it after? Was it later?
I thought it was after. Let me check.
Because that's really important, simply because they show a locomotive in it that would certainly indicate that it doesn't take place in the first half of the 19th century. It could. I mean, it's not like trains didn't exist, but it seems to, like, the whole vibe of it seems to suggest Reconstruction or after. And I don't know. So we're talking like 1865 to 1877, somewhere in there. But I don't.
I'm looking into it.
Yeah. So when we have, I don't. But I don't know. I mean, who the fuck knows? Rockstar, I'm sure, has all that shit nailed down in terms of aesthetics.
The game, set during the decline of the American frontier in the year 1911, follows John Marston.
Wait, Red Dead Redemption took place in 1911?
According to Wikipedia.
God, I don't remember that. So yeah, this must take place before that then.
Cool.
So I mean, just based on
I'll try to find you the image. 1911,
Red Dead Redemption took place. Jesus, I don't remember that, and I beat it.
Yeah,
I wrote the strategy guide for the game. 1911.
It'd be great if you went back and read the strategy guide and your whole thing's like, we have no idea what year it is. Like all these things.
I'm trying to think about. Wow, I was like 50 years off in my mind of where that game actually took place. I guess it's been a while. So yeah, definitely. I think that certainly does suggest that.
The game takes place primarily in the year 1911 during the final decade of the American frontier and the cowboy and outlaw archetypes that shaped it. The landscape of the Wild West is beginning to fade, and modern technologies like automobiles, machine guns, and oil drilling projects are beginning to appear.
Right, that's right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's right. It was the kind of the fusion of the Industrial Revolution with the West. That's right. For some reason, I had in my mind a more quaint West. Well, that wasn't being infringed upon yet by expansion and all those kinds of things. So based on the imagery in the trailer, you're right. It seems like it with the screen caps that I haven't seen. I don't remember anything about the fucking story in Red Dead Redemption at all, to be honest. Clearly, but based on the imagery of the train, all those kinds of stuff, seems like it moves back to maybe the late 19th century. Then
you think so? If it's selling this old,
so that's pretty cool. 1911. Jeez Louise. Makes me want to go back and play it again even more now.
This is not the one I'm talking about, but it's similar, right? So there's Marsden there. You look down there, it looks like him. But then this guy with the hat is the one that is like spot on. And granted, this is just grasping at straws. But then there's this guy, the bandolier dude.
Well, it seems like it's not grasping at straws. Maybe I mean, it seems like the Red Dead Redemption 2 name is very intentional, obviously. It's the third Red Dead game, so we all assumed that it was going to be Red Dead and whatever, Revolution.
Red
so
Dead
all of this
shit sandwich, I think, was
Red
the
Dead shit
going
sandwich.
name. Yeah.
So I think that all makes a lot of sense going together. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I got to it's sitting on my shelf. I just unplugged my PS3 to put PSVR on my shelf. So
now you get to soon you can play it on the power of PlayStation Now.
I know. I can't wait to play it with a little bit of latency. It's gonna be fun.
So that's something that's interesting to me is last night when Nintendo announced their thing, I was like, is there a chance this is gonna be on NX? And it's not. So that's
the much better one.
It's gone.
Kevin, I'll send you these images.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Good job, internet sleuths. You're always making my life a lot easier.
So about them announcing it so early, like it is weird because they can kind of do whatever they want. But I think that the reasoning for it is, I mean, they could have done this later as well, but there's the power of things not leaking. And this game's had a lot of weird leaks over the years or whatever. But in terms of if it's coming out in fall 2017, the chances of something coming out are pretty high, right? And I think that the Rockstar did something really kind of cool and unique in the game sphere and owned the last couple of days. Like this whole last week was theirs. Everyone was talking about it on Twitter, and like making events like that, I think is really, really a special thing. And like their social following went up immensely if you looked at the beginning of the week till now. So it's like they gained a lot from it, right?
Sure.
But I agree with you that now it's just like cool. Well, now there's a whole year to wait.
Yeah, and they were also eclipsed. As the week wanes or whatever, like they have been eclipsed now. And I feel like people. I might want to say no one's going to talk about Red Dead, but it's certainly not the top point of discussion moving into the weekend anymore. So I'm sure that they didn't intend for that to happen. It seems like the wick was snuffed out a little early for them.
And it's funny because I thought it was gonna be the opposite. When they were talking about Red Dead, there's gonna be a trailer, and then Nintendo's coming too. It's like, oh man. sucks for Nintendo, and it really sucks for Red Dead.
You guys are funny.
Yeah, I would have assumed Nintendo would have, just based on like hardware.
Yeah.
Hardware is always more exciting, but I think it would have been way easier for Nintendo to fuck it up. And
But even if they fucked it up, I still think more people would be talking about how they fucked it up than this Red Dead minute-long thing that's exactly what you'd expect Red Dead on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to look like. Speaking of the graphics, though, I'm not extremely impressed with it. Like, there's
Really?
the scene of the dog. I mean, it's a pretty game, but I mean, current gen consoles are pretty, right? Like, this definitely doesn't impress me in the same way that I look at like even recently playing Battlefield and seeing these deserts and trains and stuff. I'm like, this looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I don't. People are gonna get on me again about this, but when when I went into a preview event like last minute when we were at IGN, I had to go fill in for maybe Greg or someone to go see Grand Theft Auto 5, and I came back and everyone's like, "Look how beautiful it is." And I'm like, "I don't think it's that beautiful at all, to be honest with you." I'm like, there are games that look way better than this. I'm sure that it's not going to be the most technically impressive game, but it's an open world, and it's there. They're showing you the in-engine footage of a game, so I give them credit for that. It's not really bullshit what you're seeing.
But that's the thing is, like, I would much rather expansive in a world that lives and breathes than things being like extremely realistic and pretty. But my thing specifically, like, and because people I know are going to destroy me in the comments for saying that, but like, I'm specifically talking about the scene where it's the dog versus the roosters or whatever the fuck. Like, that dog animation does not look good. It immediately it stood out to me. I'm like, ugh, and like that shouldn't be happening. Like, especially for a trailer. It's like when you're watching a trailer, it should be the perfect things that you're trying to show somebody.
Yeah, which could signal bad things for the game's aesthetic, but I doubt it. I feel like, like when you saw the guy walking through the field, I was like, yeah, everything's not quite right, but it's not Fallout where it's like, wow.
Yeah, and it's definitely it's nitpicky, but I feel like when you have just a minute-long trailer that's sheer purpose is looking pretty, nitpicky's all you have.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually shocked that we were going to see anything in engine at all, so I thought for sure it would be a cinematic of some sort. And I was expecting to see the rumored saloon thing, like really violent trailer, which I think would have been great. Maybe we'll see that in the future. Maybe we'll never see it. Maybe it never existed at all.
Maybe it was a phantom.
So yeah, I think, Rockstar's not dumb. In fact, they're like some of the smartest people in the entire industry by a fucking mile. And so we make fun of or question the reason of announcing it a year out. And I do think it's silly, but at the same time, they might look at Grand Theft Auto 5, even though it was released at a different time, and they're like, we announced that in a similar time frame, and that game fucking murdered because we just, I mean, that is, I think, the third best-selling game of all time. It's incredible how much Grand Theft Auto 5 has sold.
It still
sells. Absolutely insane. Like how much that game still sells. It still charts.
Yeah.
Every month, and they look at that and they're like, well, we teased it so much and got people so hyped and excited that they had to have it. And they're like, well, why? Even though we see evidence that we don't need to do that, we also have this evidence, this firsthand marketing evidence that it works. So we really should have this very carefully controlled cycle of previews that lead up to the review.
To me,
lead up to the release, rather.
This is a lot like a PSX or the announcement of the PlayStation Pro event, right? Where we whip ourselves and then the audience into a frenzy, right? Of like, no, this is what they're going to announce. This is how they do it. This is what it should be. And it's the same thing with Rockstar and this game, where I think I've been beating the drum for so long that like what I think they should do is do the GTA logo, fade it up, never show anything, release the game, da-da-da-da. And we keep talking like that is actually what Rockstar is, but Rockstar shows us today and showed us with GTA 5 and has never really given us a reason not to associate them with old school video game marketing, and it fucking works. So why would they stop that? Why would they change that?
Yeah, they're one of the few ones that there's going to be so much to show in the game and so much that everyone's going to be interested in. They can be like, this month we're going to talk about grass, on the field, and everybody like, fuck yeah. So it's not like grass. So it's not like every company and every game can do that, but they have they can go so deep into the game. And the game's, I'm sure, so vast that they have plenty to talk about. And I'm sure that's all mapped out and all done already about how they're going to roll it all out. So we'll see. I think it's there's no reason to doubt that it's going to be anything less than excellent. but I felt that way about Mafia 3 as well. So, but Rockstar is in Hangar 13. So, I think that similar with Nintendo Switch, there's some things you might be concerned about, but there's no reason right now not to be excited about it either.
Yeah.
Will there be reasons to not be excited about it later? Maybe, but we'll have to wait and see.
I am stoked. It looks fantastic.
Can't wait to play it on my Switch.